Ann Coulter gets into a heated debate with Chunky Chunk, comment Chunk for the algorithm, over the frequency of election fraud. It's a good one, guys. I really like Ann Coulter. She has some bad takes when it comes to Trump, but she also has a lot of good criticisms, and she's like one of the only entertaining females on the internet, so shout out her. By the way, like today's video, subscribe, and we'll just get straight into it.
They've already started cheating in Lancaster. They've cheated. We caught them with 2,600 votes. No, we caught them cold. 2,600 votes. Think of this. Think of this. And every vote was written by the same person. I wonder how that happened. It must be a coincidence. It must be a coincidence.
Again, not only did he not catch them, right? It was the Pennsylvania officials who came forward. And these aren't votes. These weren't ballots. These were ballot applications. And now, as they've investigated them, more than half already were determined to be valid. They're continuing to investigate them. I mean, Ann, this to me is the most dangerous stuff that Trump is saying, which is claiming that this particular election is already being stolen.
I think, yeah, I think it's stupid. It's politically stupid. It's not going to help him. I basically agree with you, but
I actually I don't think it helps Trump either, because if you're going to tell people like they're stealing the election, why would you want to go vote? Honestly, like seriously, like that's how I felt in the past. Like I don't want to go vote because if they're just going to steal the election. So it actually makes people not want to go out and vote. Like he should just be saying like pushing people to the polls and voting for him, and that's it. By the way, comment MAGA, go vote today. By the way, posting this today, go vote, go to the polls, stay in the lines, get it done. Like let's do everything we can to get Trump in and not Kamala, the hoe in chief, right?
for the sake of argument, I do have one little point I'd like to make about this, and that is, okay, Trump shouldn't be saying it, but let's say somebody else is saying it. Say I'm saying it. I'm sick of hearing all the time that there is no vote fraud, absolutely no vote fraud. Dan, nobody's looking for the vote fraud. Did you hear about the non-citizen Chinese student at University of Michigan who voted last week? And, oh, his vote will count because you can't get it back now. Right. You know how they caught him like they're looking for him? For some reason, he went back the next day and he asked for his ballot back. Yeah. So unless you vote illegally, you're not a citizen, unless you go and ask for the so it's like asking, you know, Confederate sheriffs, are you letting black people vote? Yeah, well, we can't find any vote fraud here. Well, you're not looking.
That's a good point. Like, are they really looking for the voting fraud? No.
But the notion...
Why is Chunk's face so like this chunky yogurt, it's expired. Always. We always like to talk about it in the comments below how expired Chunky's yogurt is.
So I'm sick of hearing there's no vote fraud. There's a lot of vote fraud. Maybe Trump shouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in 2020, one of my friends who lived in Massachusetts, because I went to college in Massachusetts, her parents knew multiple people who have received like 2 ballots, or that or someone like went to go vote. Sorry, I mean, I'm trying to remember. I'm just thinking about this off the cuff. I didn't plan to say this, but that they knew people that went to go vote and someone said that they already voted, or some people were allowed to vote multiple times. So it didn't matter like, oh, you've already voted. Nope, they weren't keeping track of that. And that's just in Massachusetts, and no one even talks about Massachusetts, probably because no matter what, it's always going to be a blue lib state. So no one cares. But here in Arizona, obviously this is a big problem, very big problem. And I swear, if they don't have the results by tomorrow morning, I'm going to be so pissed. Like, there's been so much early voting across the nation. They've already had time to count a bunch of ballots. Like, get your shit together, election officials. Come on.
He asked the question. I'll let Cenk respond. Cenk, go ahead.
Yeah, I was getting worried about all the agreement here. Thank you, Ann, for bringing up something that's wrong. Heritage Foundation, very right-wing think tank, the guys who did Project 2025, looked into voter fraud over a period of, I think, about 20 years. And they did find it. They found 0.0000006% of the vote was fraudulent. So, meaning it is totally statistically insignificant. It's the kind of desperate things that losing candidates do. The only upside here, Dan, is that once I started hearing them cry and cry about how the election was rigged, I was like, oh, I guess their internal polling shows that they're about to lose. So that's what a losing candidate does. And you're absolutely right. First of all, they caught it. So what kind of grand scheme is it when you catch all the people who are doing the fraud? So that doesn't make any sense at all. But it's Trump. He doesn't have to make sense. But overall, here's what...
But we're talking about what Ann is saying, that it's annoying when we're gaslit into this notion that there's no election fraud, that we're all crazy. Like, Democrats were claiming the election was stolen when Hillary lost. Okay? Honestly, whoever loses from now on is probably always going to claim that the election was stolen. We already know that if Trump doesn't win, that's what everyone's going to say. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm not saying that I don't think that's what happens or will happen or has happened, whatever, because YouTube. You actually have to be a little careful about what you say on here, or else you can get banned. Get the snip, snip, cuggity cut. What did I just say? I'm so weird. I'm in a mood today, guys. I'm in a mood, but we'll get back to it. Stop gaslighting us, guys. Please, Dems, please stop the gaslighting.
You're not going to do, if you think you're going to crush in this election, complain that it's rigged.
But Ann, the idea that they aren't.
Remember when you guys claimed that the election was rigged for Hillary or against Hillary? Do you remember that?
Looking. I mean,
Chunky yogurt.
I mean, they are absolutely looking. I mean, a lot of these states are they're very proud of the fact, you listen to the former Secretary of State of Arizona, right? He'll tell you that in 2020, he was looking for fraud. He was looking for it again and again, and he couldn't find it. So this notion that they're not looking for it, I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, this is done state by state, and in the state of Michigan, all you need is a utility bill to vote. And I just described a case to you that they did not catch until the guy came back and asked for his ballot back. So it's done state by state. I'm sure they're looking for it in some states, but liberals have really got to stop saying there's no evidence. There's no evidence. No one's looking for it.
Yeah, no, I got to.
I think there should be one day to vote, and man, there should be voter ID.
Look, but I agree with you that there should be voting.
Yeah, it should be simple. Everyone votes on the same day, and you have to show your ID to vote. Is that too much to ask for?
Voter ID. I agree with you that there has been voter fraud, but there's nothing to suggest it's changing any outcomes. There's nothing to suggest that it's overturning any elections. And this is why, when AP went back a year later and looked at every single one of the claims of voter fraud, every one, and they looked at what would happen, what was the prosecution, et cetera. I mean, I had the Secretary of State of Georgia on, again, a Republican, Brad Raffensperger. I said to him, look, AP says you had 64 cases, and he said, well, in the end, it was actually 25. But they all are very familiar with exactly how many, and I just think of all these things, this Liz Cheney nonsense, this nonsense about he was trying to shoot the media. These are just headlines that the left-leaning media wants to focus on because, dictator for a day, all this nonsense that actually doesn't go to anything real. But this is real stuff. Thanks for watching. Go to...
Oh my gosh. Thank you, News Nation. I don't know, guys. Do you think we're going to win? You got to let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious. I'm hopeful. I'm praying to God that Trump does win, even though he's not perfect on everything, for sure. For sure. He's got some issues with abortion and stuff, but I'm hoping that he's just trying to win an election, and then he'll be extremely pro-life and strong on the border and immigration and anti-war, all these things. So if you made it to the end, as always, comment an orange heart. Thanks. You guys help boost this video in the algorithm. You're the best. I'll see you guys next time.